Good morning, beautiful humans. So this morning, I've been contemplating the benefits of slowing down. And what I notice when I'm rushing is that I don't have very good attention on things. It's like I'm so busy trying to get to the next thing that I don't actually get to enjoy or fully experience what is right now. And that seems sad to me. That seems like a loss of the experience that is right now. So when I was contemplating about this, I did some writing about it because that's what I love to do. And then I just had this knowing that the only thing I'm rushing towards when I'm rushing is like rushing towards death. And I don't mean that I'm like going to have a car accident or something. I just mean this sense of like, must get everything done, must do it now. Like this pressure to like be there already or have it done already or like have it fixed or finished. Hang on a sec, you guys are a bit far away. I can't read the comments. Good morning if you're joining this morning. Hello to you wherever you are, whenever you watch. Hey Stephen, hey Nora, welcome. So if you're joining me this morning, say hello. Tell me how you're feeling this morning. Tell me what your relationship to rushing and slowing down is. When I really felt into this, the pressure of accomplishment I feel like we have in modern society is like a distortion of nature. You know, a tree doesn't grow faster than it grows. You know, I believe we even abuse plants, you know, like pour all the fertilizer on it, grow it in a water bath, make that lettuce happen in 3 days so we can sell it in the shop. But meanwhile, like, it doesn't have much nutrition in it. We force chickens to grow so that they can be on our plate in 6 weeks or whatever the timing is. Meanwhile, they can't actually stand up because their bones and legs aren't strong enough. They're just fat from being force-fed. Like, what does that say about the way we care for our bodies and time and growing and nature? I'm just going to read your comments. Nora says, wow, hello. Hi, Steve. Hi, Diego. Hey, Jacqueline. So, slow the fuck down. Like, what is the rush? I get that there's time pressure and to get stuff done. And why? Because when people say to me there's not enough time, there's plenty of time. We have lots of time. We're just not taking our time. I'm going to say that again. There's plenty of time. We're just not taking it. So here right now in this moment, like slow down your breath. Be here with yourself, with me, with this moment. Maybe you're doing 3 things right now. What about if you gave all of your attention, and maybe it's not about giving all of your attention to me right now, maybe it's about giving it to you or to something that needs your full focus and attention. But what I really notice is when I take my time, I have a much richer experience. I remember what happened in each moment in the day. When I'm rushing, I can't remember how I got from here to there because my brain was so full of thoughts of this is what I must do when I get there. Don't forget this, don't forget that. Hurry up, get out of the house. And then I'll arrive where I was and realize that I forgot something because I was pushing and pressuring and forcing. You guys are making comments here. Nora says I need to slow down. Yeah, totally. And I'm not advocating for like not getting anything done. What I'm really advocating here is like presence, because time and attention are related. So there's there's meditation practices to really hone this in, and what I noticed about them, the one I'm speaking about, for example, right now is orgasmic meditation, which is a meditation that goes for 15 minutes in a timed meditation. And during that meditation, what I've noticed is my relationship to time changed, because I knew I had only 15 minutes and I knew I dedicated those 15 minutes to the practice. And in surrendering to that container, the experience is all about putting attention on sensation in the moment. And in doing that, time expands, it shifts, reality moves actually. And so I really want to call attention into breath, slowing your breath down, expanding your breath, expanding your awareness. What can you hear right now? How are you feeling right now? And putting attention on that actually really helps you slow down. Our mind is the one that races with thoughts, with next, with pushing, with goals, with success. Not that I'm saying you shouldn't have goals or be successful. That's amazing. It's a wonderful way to direct attention. A thing that was really alive for me in this was the sense that around kind of goals, thinking about things that I want, for example, or things that you might want. And what I notice is if I don't have an expanded capacity to put a lot of attention in a single moment, I might not even notice if the thing that I want is there. So someone might be trying to give me love or speak to me about something, but if I'm so busy trying to get somewhere or do something, maybe I don't give them my attention and maybe I can't receive that. Maybe this isn't my life anymore, but I remember when I used to work in a corporate job and I was working 15, 16 hours a day, and I would get home from work so exhausted, and I didn't have the right attention on my relationship that I had at that time. I wasn't putting aside time for the deep kind of connection I needed and wanted in my relationship. And yet I could very strongly feel that the quality of the relationship wasn't what I wanted. And yet I didn't put enough attention on it to create that. So that's a two-way street. I can't blame my ex-husband for that. I was part of that. So where are places that you could put more time and attention into presence and slowing down so you can actually receive it? What are you guys saying here? Mark says we all need to chill out. Nikki, Craig, Tara, welcome, good morning. So I'm just going to have a look at what I was writing this morning because I felt very inspired while I was writing and I wanted to share some of it with you. Right, and it was about that. It was about that sense of being so busy and rushing and moving towards something that you might even miss it if it's there. So it's rushing past the thing you want, because the things we want happen in moments. A connection with someone you love happens in a moment, happens in intimacy, and for that you have to have a lot of a presence and attention with someone, on someone. And that requires slowing down. That requires slowing down to meet. I can't remember the name of the there's an I Ching that is slowing down to meet, and it's a beautiful parable for life in that way, that the presence and time and attention it takes to be in a moment is exquisite. It's where everything happens. And so many of those moments, I think, pass us by in the push and the rush. And for me, it's about priorities, is it a priority to rush and push towards the thing you want? Because how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? So if I'm so busy pushing and rushing to get to a thing, even when it's there, can I just shift gears in that moment and slow down to receive it? Maybe I can. But maybe I can't. Maybe I'm stuck in that gear that's trying to get there, trying to push, trying to rush. And what I've noticed is my experience of the moment, my experience of sensation, my experience of receptivity has shifted completely. There's a depth in each moment, a beauty, when you're willing to put your attention on it. So that's I think all I wanted to share about that this morning, unless anyone has anything that they want to share or offer. Welcome, I see you watching here. What else did I want to say this? I want to know, like, what things for you want to put more attention on. So what do you want to receive more of, and how can you put more attention on it? Like, what are the things? Is it the people you love in your life? Is it moments in nature? Like, where can you choose to slow down? For me, my first port of call is opening my breath and slowing down my breath, and suddenly when I do that, all my senses activate. And my thinking actually slows down when my breath slows down. There's some relationship with a racing heart. There's I think it's related to rushing towards death. I really do, because like if I'm rushing towards that inevitable, that I must get it done before I'm dead thing, I don't think that that's the present thought, but I think it's an energetic frequency. And in that place, there's a panic. Oh no, I'm not going to get it done. I'm not going to finish the thing. I'm not going to get there on time. There's going to be all these, I might forget the thing, all this impact. And it's a lot of pressure on our bodies that causes so much stress, elevated adrenal hormones. One of the greatest maladies in modern times is adrenal fatigue. And so how can you bring more presence and awareness and attention just into like this moment? How does your breath feel? This cup feels warm. What are you guys saying here this morning? Hi Patrick, hi Glenn. You guys are not very talkative this morning. Our conversations are enlivened by your participation, so I love it when you ask me questions or when you tell me what's alive or real for you. Nora says, I feel like you're talking to me. It's wild right now. Of course I'm talking to you. I'm so happy that you're here. I know you rarely catch my lives. I was so happy that I did. Thank you. Oh, you're so welcome. Yeah, it is about mindfulness, right? Just the smallest things can make a really massive difference to our experience. So I'm so glad that this resonated for you today. If there's anyone else watching now or later on the replay, let me know how you're feeling. What I do love is to be in like transmission of my frequency, and that is what this is. What I know, what I experience, and what I remember is that people often share with me how calm they feel in my presence, and I feel a lot of appreciation and gratitude to have that type of influence on people. And it's always my intention to let people know that it's cultivated. I was both born like this, and it was thoroughly trained out of me because I spent a lot of my life trying to be something that I'm not, and I exhausted myself doing that. I really did. I don't think anyone else knew that they were putting some kind of influence on me to be a certain way, but I believe it's a product of culture and society and family and things like that. And it takes a lot of practice to release and undo that conditioning that we have on us about how we're supposed to be or how we're supposed to show up, how we're supposed to rush to accomplish and achieve. And whilst accomplishment and achievement and success is a beautiful thing, in fact, if we can't slow down enough to receive it, it becomes meaningless and it becomes, well, empty and unfulfilling if you don't fully let it in. Like, it happened, yeah, so what? Maybe I didn't even notice. Maybe I didn't have enough presence and attention to let the whole thing in. And that fulfillment has us in that empty seeking mode, next thing, next thing, next thing, next thing. There's so much richness in each moment that maybe we don't need as many next things if we can slow down to receive what's really here for us. And what I find is that brings me clarity about what I really want. It changes the vibration and the frequency of what I want to attract and create in my life, because I want to create more richness. I want to create more depth. And all of those things actually take time, and they require a different energetic frequency. They require a capacity to receive them. We can never receive, it's like we never get more than we can receive. So I've noticed that building my capacity to receive more has me receive much more nourishment energetically, emotionally, physically. I find that the slower it's everywhere in life. I'm just thinking of all the beautiful ways. The more I slow down when I eat, the more nourishing food is, and I actually find myself not eating as much. It's just in all the ways I find this frequency is just beautiful. What are you guys saying to you? Hey Glenn, hey Gavin, welcome, good morning. Oh, Gavin, I'm in eager anticipation of the parcel you're sending me. I keep checking my mailbox. Zola says, why aren't there women like you in my life? Zola, here I am in your life. Welcome. Everything you talk about resonates with me. I'm glad to see you live. I often watch the repost of your live. Oh, Zola, I'm so glad that we are meeting each other in the moment. It's one of my favorite places to be, and I'm glad that you can watch the reposts and receive them too. I'm actually going to speak to that, Zola, because that question in itself, why aren't there more women like you in my life, has me think that maybe you need to put more attention on what is there for you. How can you see the beauty in each woman in your life? How can you allow yourself to receive that? And I love that you want more women like me in your life, and even asking that question will have more women like me come into your field. I believe that's, one of the philosophies that I work with. The more we ask for things that we want, the more they appear, the more we get connected to receiving, the more we open to that. Nora says, I agree, you make people mindful and aware. Oh, thank you, yes. It is one of my intentions to do that. It's my intention to be a positive influence in the world. It's my intention that the frequency that I transmit magnetize towards me people, things, places, experiences, nourishment and enjoyment that I prefer. And certainly a practice to slow down and receive those things. My relationship with time has been just fascinating over the years. I've had a big experience with lateness in my life, and a lot of judgment around it, and a practice of being aware and sensitive to my impact or influence, the way I impact others around my lateness, has been a really big learning, that other people's time is as important as mine. And then there are these moments where things move in a way that feels not outside of my control, but feels bigger than me. And in those moments, I notice this pressure, get there on time, do this, hurry up. And then if, for example, I haven't been able to surrender to that, the other thing was bigger, more alive for me, what I notice about that is that there'll be some other kind of alignment of perfect timing in place. For example, I remember something specific. There was some kind of big lunch thing I was supposed to go to. It was a couple of months ago, and I was feeling so much tightness and pressure in my body, be there on time, don't let anyone down. But what I didn't know is that something else was going on there at the place where I was going to, that actually meant that it was healthier that I wasn't there. And in fact, I was an hour and a half late, and I had to surrender to this moment and allow what was moving for me to take me at its own pace, because I was really stressed out about it. And then when I surrendered, I just was I can't get there faster than I can get there, It ended up being so much traffic. I was just sitting in traffic for over an hour. I was I can't teleport myself there. I can't change this right now. I literally can either stress myself with pushing thoughts of how wrong I am for being late and how frustrating the traffic is, or I can just be like, here I am. So I made a conscious choice in that moment. I'm just going to put on my audiobook that will have me receiving something that feels good. I will let the people know where I'm pulled over. I was like, okay, this is more important. I'll pull over, I'll send a message. That stress of like them not knowing was out of the way. You know, like little things along the way to create this safe container of like, I can't change. There's layers of reality that I can't impact, right? And so knowing that there's a place sometimes for surrender. And then when I finally arrived there, it was the most insane, perfect timing. 3 other people were also arriving at a similar time. There was just a confluence of something had gone on in the place where I was going that meant people weren't meant to be there, you know? And it's like there's this bigger plan, a bigger picture that sometimes as individuals we don't have access to. And all of the stress and pressure we put ourselves under to perform and get things right and do it now and rush towards like some kind of outcome. What about if we could just take the foot off the gas a little bit and let the flow of things take us to connect with actual correct timing? And correct timing is an interesting thing. Whilst time passes in a linear way that can be measured by clocks, our experience of time, our inner experience, is not linear. And that is a magnificent paradox in itself. I'm just looking at what you guys are saying. Hey James, hey Nick. Oh, how do I pronounce your name? Zenji? I hope that's correct. Hi Diana. I think that's all I wanted to share this morning. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen and be with me this morning. I invite you to slow down into your breath and to experience the richness of each moment, and know that you'll get there in the perfect timing, and all the pushing and rushing in the world can't actually, it's like Power versus Force, which is a really good book. I can't remember who wrote it right now, but claiming the power of this moment to be here is so much more potent than trying to force an outcome, and the results when they arrive are so much richer. James says, I've missed most of this. I'm feeling this about surrender and trust in life, and that time instead of something under our control flows beautifully. I totally agree. Yes, thanks James. Go back and watch it. I encourage you and invite you to receive what's here for you, or maybe just now was the perfect time for you to catch whatever you caught. Nora says thank you and enjoy the rest of your day. Likewise, beautiful humans. And I'm just going to share now a little bit of what's coming up for me, or what my offers are that are coming up for you as well. On the 12th of August, I'm hosting another orgasmic activation breathwork session in Sydney, if you are in Sydney. If you are not in Sydney, I have an online group, Sex Positive People, where I share my work online. I often share videos and educational like webinars and things like that, and podcasts, not really podcasts, like online conversations about topics related to well-being, sexuality, the holistic nature of a human, the importance of emotional clearing and release. I give lots of free content in there, and it's a community of like-minded, open-minded people. So if that's something that interests you, I'll drop the link to join in the comments below. What else? And in there you'll see other things like my 8-week orgasmic activation program. It's really all about using and connecting with the potency of our life force energy to activate consciousness, awareness, heal and clear emotional trauma, and allow the fullest unique expression of all that you are to radiate into the world. That is what I am in transmission of. And I thank you for being here with me during that. Bye everyone. Lovely to spend some time with you this morning. And take your time. It's yours.